Through the dark recesses of the internet lie many forums that people can tell their experiences, whether it's paranormal, cryptid, or just downright weird. Reddit is the perfect place for that. So join us today as we go over Reddit Stories Volume 1.
Alright everyone, welcome back to
Unknown,
Unsolved
Unseen.
Triple U.
Woohoo.
A new recording equipment that we're hoping sounds better quality for all of you.
Yeah, this is our first time trying this out. We got the new Vocaster 2.
So yeah, you'll have to let us know if it sounds alright. We'll hear in post, but
Yeah, we can't hear live really how it's going.
Yeah, it's actually kind of nice because we used to have to hear ourselves speak, and now we only have to hear the other person.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like it.
I like being able to hear my own, and well, I can kind of.
Yeah.
All right, so
How do we want to set this up? So do we want to do
first off, let's introduce ourselves.
Oh, that's okay.
I'm Frank,
I'm Sage.
and yeah, as you know, you're on Unsolved, Unknown, Unseen.
You
We're having a
totally
wonderful.
put those out of order.
What?
You said unsolved first.
Unknown, Unsolved, Unseen. Whoopsie
It's
daisies.
been a long day. Our dog just graduated from his intermediate obedience training classes, so
Yeah.
we did a good day with him. So.
Yeah, we saw Superman yesterday. Been doing yard work. It's been a busy weekend.
Yeah, it has been a busy weekend. So
That movie was good.
it was a good movie, and Crypto, the dog that's in it, he's a lot like our dog. So if you're ever wondering why we talk so much about our dog and how annoying he is, it's because he's just like Crypto. Although he graduated his obedience class, and I feel like he does listen more than Crypto did.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, Crypto at least came to his safe, saving Superman after the 1A moment.
Yeah. 1A, 1A, 1A.
It was a good movie, but real quick announcements. Check out our podcast Instagram for anything for upcoming events. There's some going on right now as we speak, and some more coming up. And go check out some of those accounts. We are, promoting here and there when I get the chance and I'm not swamped by work. Yeah, we're hoping to do some collabs coming up.
You being swamped by work, but we'll move to the event.
That's what she says, but And I think that's about it for the announcements. But this is technically Sage's episode today, so today we're going to be doing something a little new, something we're going to sprinkle in here and there.
I'm getting off easy this week.
Yeah, we're going to be doing Reddit stories, and this is Volume 1.
Yes, this is Volume 1. How do we want to do this?
Well, I thought, because it's your episode number, you start, then I go, then you start, then I go, and swap.
Okay, are we doing like the same theme in the beginning?
No.
Just go back, whichever one.
Whichever ones you want to do. I have 4 stories.
I have like 8 that I want to share all.
Well, we'll have to do a Reddit Stories Volume 2 then.
No, I'm going to share them all today. Some of them aren't that long.
Okay.
And we have to see how long the episode gets, so.
Alright. So we're just getting right into this, aren't we? Just raw dogging this episode with under 4 minutes in.
Okay.
Actually, it might be 4 minutes. I don't know how long the intro adds to it. That's added in post.
Well, like 30 seconds. But, alright. So my first one comes from the subreddit Paranormal Encounters. This was 4 days ago.
Oh, you did recent stuff. I did nothing super recent.
All of mine are recent, within the last month.
You know what one I couldn't do that you also saw?
What?
The J.D. Vance one.
Oh, that would have been hilarious.
If you go to Paranormal Encounters and do like their top all time, there's one of the bald ass J.D. Vance meme. It's one of the top all time Paranormal Encounters.
There was another one too where Somebody was like, "Oh, I caught an anomaly like in the window or something like that of like an old house, and it's the bald JD Vance."
Oh my god.
But all right, so this is posted by useful underscore database 5138. Great name. And it's called Paranormal Encounters in One Day or a Sign from the Universe. And so we will decide at the end. It says, or they say, I swear I saw my 1 to 2 year old niece in her bed. It was 5:40 a.m. and I was going to shower before work, and I noticed the kid's door wide open. It is usually left closed or barely open. I felt drawn to check on my niece, but I know if one of the kids, there's two of them, are sleeping at their grandparents or cousins, the other one left behind with us usually sleeps with my sister and her boyfriend. I assumed the door was open so they could have easy access to run to her if something happens. I stepped out in the doorway and squinted to see if she was there. The bed sheets are white, with tiny black dots, and with blankets, and I wasn't sure if it was a blanket or my niece. I stepped away, but just needed to double check, so I stepped in the doorway again, and a bit closer, but never went inside the room, in case I woke her up. They have one of those sensor night lights that is dim, and then I saw my niece laying there, blinking. Then she just sat up. She was laying on her belly, facing me. But the way she sat up wasn't the usual lifting herself up with her arm. She literally swung her body to sit up, which was kind of weird. I think she blinked a few times to wake up fully, and she has done this thing rarely where she lays in bed awake from sleep, just waiting for someone, then cries when someone is present. But she just stared at me. She was wearing her white long-sleeve PJ top with the black flowers and was in diapers. She didn't cry, didn't reach her arms out to me. It could be because of the lighting and my terrible eyesight and imagination, but her face looked distorted or weird. But I went, oh shit, and dipped to the shower because I was scared. LMAO. But also, I didn't want to wake her up and be scolded by my sister. I showered for about 10 minutes or so and heard thumps, and a door closed, and maybe a baby voice. So I assumed my sister or her boyfriend saw her on the baby monitor and took her into their room. After I showered, I checked again, and I literally only saw the blanket. Same way it was when I saw her. Nothing else. Maybe she moved to a different position to where I couldn't see her, or whatever, but I don't know. I just remember not seeing her. I got ready, and I left for work. I had a great Monday, and then suddenly on the drive home, my engine just died at a red stoplight as I braked. Mind you, this happened 3 times as I was leaving work. The lights and everything in the car were working fine. The car literally won't budge. After getting honked at and cursed at by the people behind me, I fussed around with the car, and it finally moved again. I came home, had my sister's boyfriend check it out, and we drove, trying to replicate what happened so he could figure out the issue. But it literally never happened. I also called him when I got stuck, but it went to voicemail with him babbling like blah 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 after the beep. That's hilarious. That was my commentary, not on the post. I figured it's something he'd set as his voicemail and I laughed. He answered on the second try after I called my sister, and apparently he said he has never set up his voicemail. We checked, and nothing. The missed call shows on my phone history, but not on his. Could just be a fluke, but it's weird. Anyway, I asked them about my niece, and they said my sister was awake from 5 a.m., and she never saw my niece sit up or wake up on the baby monitor, and never made a sound either. And that she was right in her bed the entire time until she tried to go to their room around 7 a.m. when they were both awake. I asked if they had changed her to PJs, and they said she was still wearing her same clothes from yesterday, which were a strawberry dress and denim blue overalls. Their eyes widened when I told them about her white long-sleeve outfit with flowers that I saw her wearing, and they never came out to check on her when I heard the thump while showering. Never heard her talk or cry. All these things happened in a single day, and I can't wrap my head around it. They think I'm crazy, lol, because the car didn't replicate what happened to me. I saw my, quote, niece, and then the voicemail, not showing up. We immediately staged the house, though. My niece has been known to wave hi randomly to the air, but I assumed it's just her saying hi. Sometimes she'll look in the hallway, because her room's at the end, or she'll cry about being in the room, or she'll look there and just keep saying no. And she only says no if someone's actually talking to her, never randomly. Her brother is 5 years old, does the same, and he gets scared in the room. I get off vibes from their room too. Their nightlight also suddenly turned red. It does change color if you touch it, when it was just me and the 2 kids at night as we tried to sleep in their room, and there wasn't anything besides the nightlight that could have triggered it. I've also heard once a baby crying as if waking up from sleep when I was alone with my niece. She was napping, and I quickly ran to her, and she didn't look like she cried in her sleep at all, as I was literally a few steps away. So I would have seen her pout or rub her eyes to move. Or move. The room literally makes me feel so uneasy, and there was even a time that a ball had bounced. Stereotypical, I know. Parentheses. But when I went to check on the room, it hadn't moved from the shelf it was on. I do encounter stuff like hearing my sister call my name loudly and clearly, but she never did. Sometimes I'm hella afraid to answer my nephew's voice when I'm in the bathroom or room in case it's not really him. I'm now thinking it was a sign from the universe or whatever, especially my car stalling. Either that or I pissed some spirit off.
Interesting, I gotta say. So what do you think was, going on? Because
I don't know, I feel like there was a lot. It was pretty chaotic.
it was chaotic. I'm gonna be honest, it was hard to follow.
Yeah, author did bounce around a little bit. But I did the one comment at the top. So it's from historical_past2220. Says signs, omens. Something is pulling you in and something is trying to keep you away. Any dead birds or animals outside the windows, or did you see any that day? And the OP wrote back, I did see an orange cat that's been coming to our house in the last week. I noticed it 2 times. Second time was on the day all these things happened. It was literally just chilling out on the porch. My sister saw it too as we were saging the house and it ran away. Other than the usual roadkills or random bugs, nothing yet. And the other person replied, strange occurrences happen in patterns and numbers, a sequence of strange events usually in a short time span. But only you would know what those occurrences would be. Does sound strange. Keep an open eye and mind. See if in the next few days you have the same strange events. Try to write them down and reply to me. Genuinely interested. Elements must come into play too. Water and fire. Also chaotic.
Yeah.
I love that they were like, do you have any dead birds or animals outside the windows? And I'm pretty sure they meant dead animals. And this person's like, no, I did see an orange cat on the porch though. Like, fair?
I mean, cats and dead birds are nothing unusual.
Yeah, I just think that the commenter meant like dead birds or dead cat animals.
Okay.
Not just dead birds and regular animals. Alive animals. But
Do you think some paranormal is happening here?
no, it sounds like they're on drugs.
It really does sound like there's something more than just paranormal.
Or very, very sleepy.
Very, very eepy.
Yeah. Like our Atlas.
Baby boy Atlas.
Yeah. Anyway, that was my first story.
Okay, you want me to get into one of mine now?
Yeah. Go for it.
Sorry, mine are not like yours. So, my first one is going to be an alien abduction one.
Okay.
It was posted 3 months ago on the r/alien abductions, and we'll have links to all these in the show notes. It's labeled My Experience by user Regalia_VII. Very, very regal name, I gotta say. So it goes, hello all, and I hope you're all well. Thought I'd post this here to see if anyone has similar experiences and still going through it. My fascination started around 2017 when all the news outlets released footage of fighter jets chasing UAP through the skies. I started to stargaze every single clear night until I witnessed it myself. A bright white orb zooming around the sky, then suddenly stopping like it was looking at something. I managed to call my girlfriend out to witness it until it shot off like a shooting star where you could only see the light trail behind it. I wanted to get into contact with them, so I purchased a €500 laser called Krypton, which is in the Guinness Book of World Records. Bold move by this person, I gotta say.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, dedication right here. So, they started to flash me back and acknowledge me. My relationship ended, and I purchased a caravan to live in on private land on a hill in the middle of nowhere. I started using my laser there, but didn't see anything flash me back, so I went to sleep. I woke up in the middle of the night and I couldn't feel my body weight on my bed. I just couldn't feel it. It felt like I was almost floating down very slowly. The weirdest feeling ever. explain it properly. When I realized this, I rolled to my left and onto my feet, frantically trying to find the light on the ceiling. Once I found it and turned it on, I remember looking at the bed saying, "What the fuck?" while scratching my head. I wasn't thinking of aliens or anything and just come to the conclusion I must have jumped weirdly in my sleep. Woke up early next morning around 5:30 when the sun was rising. Opened my front window blind and there was this massive hand and arm print on the window which you can see, which I'll show you then, Sage. Now, whatever did that must have been either kneeling down or 4 feet tall because it was at the bottom of the window. That obviously freaked me out at the time, and I went to work showing my best friend the picture. He asked if I checked for landing spots in the field, which I did not because I was quite freaked out. Came back from work that day, and I went to use my first laser that night, and it just didn't work. No matter what battery I used, it just didn't work. Not even a day later, then under my eyebrow swelled up, as you can see in the picture. I went to the hospital and they said it was maybe to do with stress. I'm free of stress. That's a bold thing to just claim, but okay.
I feel like this person has stress. I just don't know that they know what stress
Yeah.
is.
So they gave me antibiotics. I got my laser sent back for a replacement, but then my scrotum started swelling up.
Whoa.
It was really bad.
Oh. Probed.
When I went to the hospital and had an ultrasound, I remember the guy looking at the screen with his face scrunched up. He looked at me and asked if I'm sure I didn't cause any trauma down there. I thought about telling him my story, but then decided not to and just said, "I'm not sure, I can't remember." All of my tubes were ripped down. I had to wait for an operation. It was in a bad state, apparently. Now, what I have learned since it is the Greys put some kind of metal looking triangle device over men's genitals and your sperm is electrocuted out.
I'm sorry, what?
I've not researched that. Don't ask me, but
Oh, this goes so perfectly
it's still going.
with one of my things.
I had my laser replaced with no explanation. I have a young boy and I didn't want to have him up there again, so I explained this to his mother, who believed me and said I was stupid for doing it because she witnessed a lot with me. Fast forward a lot and I don't even really need a laser for them to acknowledge me anymore. Sometimes I use it. My brother thought I was crazy until I managed to get their attention and it drew 3 straight lines in the sky before appearing on the horizon. He was even waving at them. I don't feel scared anymore and I don't feel threatened. And I'm aware that I've been tagged and they probably know what I'm doing all the time, but I'm okay with that. I've had a spiritual awakening since astro traveled put myself on the right path in this life. I live in the UK and it will be meditation time for me soon, then sleep. I'll reply to anyone tomorrow if you've had similar stories or just want to ask questions. Thank you for reading and take care out there.
I don't even know where to begin. Funnily enough, though, I have a Reddit story that goes so perfectly with this one.
Here's the eye swelling picture.
Oh my gosh. That's like...
Here's a handprint.
Oh, that's so freaky. I mean, that definitely is a hand.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh no. That.
I just like the sense, and my scrotum started swelling.
Yeah, that. Wow. Okay, wow.
Poor dude's scrotum.
Yeah, poor scrotum.
But I guess I haven't read it up. Yeah, I haven't read up on it, but his sperm, I guess, got electrocuted out.
Well, I feel like that OP and this OP, if it's okay if I move.
Let me just see. I don't see anywhere where... Oh, no, I see one place where he responded.
Okay.
If somebody says I'm free of stress, brother, your entire story was stressful to read and likely even more stressful to experience. Ending a relationship is one of the most stressful things people experience, and add on top of that, you feel like you were abducted. You're stressed. And the OP responds, "Hello, Fickle, and I hope you are well. This happened 4 years ago, and I'm back with my boy's mother. I moved from the private land on a hill pretty much in the middle of nowhere and currently live in a town. I was always fairly relaxed about it until the obvious started happening medically. I was living the dream on that hill, and I was really good place mentally. I don't have any reason to lie about my mental state. It was a mutual agreement at the time, and I used to call it the good life up there. I understand if you don't agree, you are more than welcome to have your own opinion, but I have always been straight with people. I seriously understand your point of view considering you found it stressful to read. It was exciting at the time until I realized something was happening physically. Then I was more cautious as to what really happened, but then took caution and did not have my boy sleep up there anymore. Thank you for your interest, though."
This dude's giving me weird vibes.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like, I didn't. That response was weird.
yeah. What do you think of this though?
I mean, it sounds like something happened.
Five
Whether I don't know. Maybe he was just getting real excited about trying something new.
500 on a laser though.
Hey, I mean, 500 euros. That's pretty similar, I guess, to American money.
Yeah, it's not too far from 500 dollars. Or no, sorry, 500 pounds. I don't know why I said euros. Pounds.
Oh.
Still close to $500.
Yeah.
Like no, you're not far off. Intriguing.
Definitely intriguing.
But like they apparently took his sperm and fucked up his tubes and his scrotum and his eye, and he's like, I have no hard feelings. I embrace this. Like, dude, if they were fucking with my
I had to
scrotum,
have surgery to have all the tubes fixed.
I don't think that's very kind.
No.
Do you think he actually got abducted?
Um, he would be the perfect person to abduct.
He does sound like the perfect person to abduct.
Yeah, he gives abductee vibes. Alien abductee vibes.
Yeah, I don't know how I always feel on alien abductions, but
So, can I read the story that I think goes well?
yeah, is yours also alien abduction?
Just listen. So I think that your OP and my OP, who I actually can no longer find this on Reddit. When I originally found it, I didn't get the link, and so I was happy that I at least copied and pasted it. And now I don't think it's on Reddit anymore because I cannot find it. But this one's called "I Want to Know About Semen Extraction by Aliens Specifically."
What
It says,
if it was the same guy?
that'd be funny. It says, "I'm super curious about the nuts and bolts of asterisk semen extraction asterisk. Oh my god, say that 5 times fast. Specifically, any info would be great, or any insight regarding the frequency, the procedure, the tools used, potential screen memories, or other control mechanisms, protocol, etc. And I mean aside from thoughts on what they're doing with it, and without getting bogged down on the broader implications this has on humanity and or about hybrids, etc. We seem to have much more info and accounts of them taking eggs from females and the whole manipulating the fetuses, including implanting them and their removal. So I wanted to know more about what males experience. What do they do? How do they do it? What have you experienced? Thanks in advance."
How much did people put in there, or it's gone?
It's gone, yeah.
Wait, okay, so when was it posted?
Like, not that long ago.
Maybe the mods took it down for the sub.
I was gonna say, I'm thinking that probably is what happened. But, like, hold on. I can look it up again. Let's see.
What the? Oh my god. 19 days ago, I think I found it. I want to know about semen extraction by aliens specifically.
Yeah. I could not find it. I even looked up the full title. How did I find it? Because when
I looked up the word semen in alien abductions. Because this is by Camp Outside.
Okay, so I need to go to alien.
Oh yeah, those asterisks that he put, it like bolds the word in the thing.
Ew.
That's why it was.
Wait, is this in r/aliens?
r/alien abduction.
Okay.
Do you want to know what the top comment is?
Yes.
Nice try, Diddy.
Okay.
And then someone goes, I think I peed myself a little.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Okay, so see, when I look it up, all I see is I think I was probed last night.
I found it. Are you logged into Reddit?
No.
It's labeled NSFW, so you have to be logged in to see it.
Oh, that would make sense.
Yeah, then
Because I'm on my iPad.
somebody responded for a serious answer, look into the case of Barney Hill, which is well documented. I believe a tube was inserted into his rectum and a cup was placed on his mons pubis and semen was collected. I know after the fact a perfect ring of what appeared to be warts developed where the cup was attached over his pubic bone and had to be surgically removed. In the Gulf Breeze sighting, which I believe that one's actually a hoax, Ed Walters also had his semen harvested to make hybrids. I believe the same is true for Travis Walton. One of the men involved in the Coronado group abduction had his semen harvested via a tube inserted directly into his penis. All of this sounds awful.
Yeah.
And when I say all of it sounds awful, that's what the person wrote at the end of it.
Well, I mean, I agree. All that does sound awful.
Yeah, so that person put that, and then there are a few other people. The book Abduction by John Mack has some paragraphs on this. Can't remember how detailed, though, is what somebody else said. There's some no ideas. Um, Somebody said, well, they make you spank the monkey in a cup, obviously. And someone responded, they allowed me to watch alien version of Shades of Greys.
What the heck? See, okay, so I'm on the app and I'm logged in, and it still won't show up for me.
I don't know what's wrong with you then. I'm looking. Somebody said, I'd fuck an alien.
Jesus. But anyway, I just thought that was literally hilarious. So.
The
Oh man.
Yeah, oh my goodness. I can tell you there is zero reason to pull any from a Redditor. Lol. Is what somebody said. Oh my god. What?
That's so funny.
what, what the hell? Alright, so do you want to move on to. Do you want to count that as one of your stories, or you want me to move on? Like, do you want to actually tell a story, or move on to one of mine?
You can move on to one of yours. I just thought it was funny that I went with that.
All right. So this one actually it's not the post itself, but it's a comment under it where 2 years ago user Zeusus on r/paranormal encounters posted, "What paranormal creature have you seen? Describe it." So I'm going to do the top comment from that one because this one was interesting. Before I start, sorry, this will be a long one, and it is a long one. I should just make a separate post, but I'll just leave a comment for now. I've started a post on multiple occasions, but tell myself halfway through that people would think I'm bullshitting and delete the post. My dad's side of the family is very strict religious in sort of a cult-like manner. Luckily, my dad and aunts came out kind of normal, but my grandparents are very weird. Love y'all, LMAO. My mom's side of the family is the complete opposite. Both her and her dad have always been sensitive to paranormal shit and both have some fucking wild stories. My grandfather is a very wise wizard-like man. Interesting description. So what I'm saying, my grandfather is a very wise wizard-like man with a long track record, a psychedelic journeying, if you will, and I sort of relate to all of our experiences to him anyway. Anyway, here's some weird shit that has happened to us. I was born in 2004. Oh my god, they're young. And have had paranormal experiences throughout my life. In my first house, I mistook a woman in a dress for my older brother. When I told my parents I saw him leave, they told me he was already at school and we were the only ones in the house. My younger brother and I would always see red firefly like dots dance above us while we were laying in bed. Doors would slam and there would always be noised that couldn't be explained. I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be noises. In 2013, we moved into a new house where my parents saw a dark, hunched raccoon-like figure on multiple occasions. Maybe it was just a raccoon. There was also a motion activated light in the hallway by my room that would go off by itself around 2 to 3 a.m. on multiple occasions. My sister's room was across the hall and told me that there was a time when she walked past my room and saw me sitting straight up in bed, staring right through her eyes. She said she told me to go to sleep, and I replied, I am sleeping. Can you not see that I am sleeping? I never saw the figure that my parents did, but one of my older brother's friends saw it crawl up the stairs. Fuck that. We moved again in 2017 into my parents' current house. And this is where we have had where this is where we have all had the most intense experiences. First off, their house is in an older neighborhood with a lot of original owners still in their homes. Secondly, the previous owner of the house informed my dad that the next door neighbor hung himself on the back porch a few years prior. Apparently, the man had been hanging there long enough for turkey vultures to be swarming on his body and landing on the neighboring houses. When the body was found, his neck was so stretched that his feet almost reached the ground.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, this is pretty bad. This will come into play later. When we first moved into into this house, my mom and I would talk about how clean and empty of entities this house felt. This all changed around a year or two after we moved into the house. My sister had her first daughter around this time and lived in an apartment with her boyfriend, now husband. My niece started having violent night terrors and would always tell my sister random aspects of another life she lived with all of her old friends. One weekend, my sister came over and dropped my niece off to spend the night. While she was over, she kept telling us that all of her friends were in there with us. I personally believe this entity used my niece to get into our house. Call me crazy because I just might be. Laughing emoji. Anyway, after my niece made that comment, the house never felt the same. It started out innocent and loving. There were multiple times I would feel a warm presence of my late uncle and even felt him put his hand on my shoulder a couple times. After the good, however, there was a small leak of darkness that kept flooding the house. Shadows would move out of the corner of my eye. I would have terrifying nightmares and always smelled a gross fishy smell in the media room. The strangest part is that for a while, my mom and I would both feel cycles of good and bad in the house at the same time. I would make a comment about seeing something and she would look at me dead in the eyes, terrified, telling me she saw the same thing. One time in particular, I walked out to the garage to grab a drink and saw a very tall, around 8 foot tall, slender, pitch black figure looking at me behind my mom's car. I see that face you're
That is
making.
horrifying in every level.
Yeah. When I came back and she just saw it on my face, and all she said was, I know, they're back. I saw him too.
Oh my god.
The cycle of clean to evil kept getting stronger and more active in the house. The peak of the darkness happened right at the end of the main COVID lockdown BS. This is when it would visit me in my room at night and fuck with me all night long. Like clockwork, right around 2 to 3 a.m., I would experience a crippling feeling of terror and know that it was in the room with me. There would be a visible dark fog like haze, would fill the room with like smoke. All outside sounds of bugs, animals, and wind would go dead silent. My TV and phone would both disconnect from the Wi-Fi and stop working and I would be left alone with the being. I would hear knocks moving around the room, the floor creaking like footsteps, and blinds would get pulled and let go to hit and bounce on my windows. On one occasion, I decided to be a man and rolled over to face whatever was in my room. This is probably one of the scariest things that I've ever done. Scariest things that have ever happened to me. When I rolled over, I saw a figure crouching down by my door. Frozen with fear, I kept staring and watched this figure that was even darker than
a pitch black room, stand up to a terrifying height, and stretch its arms and neck straight in a sort of dominating, threatening position. The thing literally reached the ceiling with the tips of its fingers and head, around 9 feet tall. I got a pretty good look at the thing and could see it was wearing a black hat and trench coat. I told my parents about this in the morning. My mom believed me, but my dad always thought that we were crazy and tried to play everything off as us experiencing sleep paralysis or just being crazy. Fast forward to 2022, my parents had some friends in town staying at the house. I came downstairs one night while they were hanging out on the couch and my dad called me over. I could tell that they were all sort of on the edge, and my dad's friends described to me the same thing I saw, but walking across the second floor balcony. Fast forward again to January of this year, I had a buddy over and we both took LSD for the first time.
Okay. Okay.
So I don't know how we take the rest of this, but we were hanging out in the media room where I used to get that weird fishy smell, and also the closest room in the house to the neighbor that hung himself. So when we were both peeking, when we were both peeking in our world, in our own worlds, listening to music, he said he opened his eyes and saw and described the exact same figure. Stretched arms and neck, hat and trench coat. The crazy thing is that he didn't bring it up until a couple months later, and I had never told him about my experience with it. The weirdest part is that he even told me that it wasn't the acid placing that vision in his head. I don't know how you determine that, but whatever.
Yeah, seems like it would be the acid.
The weirdest part is that he even told me that it wasn't the. He felt terrified, like this thing was actually looking at him. I haven't had any bad experiences in around 6 months and actually feel really good right now. My dad, however, had an encounter with Anubis. He remembers waking up and watching Anubis walk out of his bathroom, stand at the foot of his bed and stare him directly in the eyes. He's always been a skeptic, but after that experience, he has opened up about other things that have happened in his life and he believes in the paranormal. Anyway, there's our story. Believe it or don't, but to my mom and I, it is reality. If you all got any questions or want to know more, let me know and I'll answer. What'd you think of that one?
Well, for starters, it was easier to follow than my first one. I'll say that for sure. Um, wow, that's really creepy. And I most definitely believe that I'll be seeing those creatures in my nightmares tonight, maybe.
All right.
But that, like, I mean, I would discount the LSD part just because to me that's like the whole point of LSD is for hallucinations.
The LSD one, I don't know.
The rest
Especially
of it, though, especially the part where he came inside and the mom's like, I know, they're back.
that's weird. That's
Excuse me?
freaky.
You didn't bother to tell?
Yeah, I don't know how to take this one because I like to be skeptical, but obviously it was just what a Redditor's saying. But this is interesting.
Yeah.
This person did not get their semen at least destroyed and electrocuted.
No, but I did see a comment on that one when I finally figured out that mine was blocked because I had never verified that I was over 18. That said, they would never. I can assure you that they would never take a Redditor.
Yeah, you saw that one I read. Yeah,
It's so funny. But
I don't. I don't know how I feel about that one. It seems so crazy.
so also like believable.
Yeah.
Because
However,
like that I remember how like 2 summers ago when we were living here, I saw something in our bedroom.
yeah,
Do you remember me telling you what it looked like?
yeah.
What did it look like?
It's like a black tall figure in the corner.
Yeah. Very similar description.
Do you want to hear the second top comment though?
Yeah.
By deleted, so the account's no longer there. My wife got possessed by some kind of angry demon right after finding out that I spent over $1,000 on Lego. Also, I saw an alien 2 years ago. Edit.
Possessed by an angry demon. Yeah, that would be because you spent all the money.
Edit. Guys, please stop liking this post. She found out I posted it and things started getting thrown around in the kitchen. I arranged for an exorcism, but this made matters worse. For some reason, a random child is now involved. I think she's using mind tricks or something because I don't recall having a 3-year-old who can't touch my Legos. Thanks in advance and please wish me luck. Edit 2. Please stop sending me messages asking which Lego set I got. It's not Millennium relevant.
Wow. That's actually kind of funny.
Oh yes, I can relate. I saw the same evil entity take possession of this woman whose flowers bed and lawn I accidentally drove through last week. A demonic entity is the only thing that could have caused such a wild-eyed, bloodthirsty attitude. I saw how beautiful and perfect the flowers were just before I ran over them. How on earth could she be so angry with that kind of expertise in horticulture?
Oh my gosh, I love Reddit.
Oh my goodness. How many more stories do you have?
There's one I very much want to read that's
Okay.
more long, but this one I think is a little bit of a palate cleanser first. So this I think is going to be a little bit of a palate cleanser after yours, and it's really short, but it made me laugh very hard. It also reminded me of you. It says fun. This is in Reddit /paranormal, and this was a year ago, so this is my farthest along ago. Funny, potentially paranormal experience. ... is what it's titled. It's labeled as debunk this, and it is no longer, it's an archived post, so it's no longer active. But it says, I was on my phone, parentheses, probably on Reddit, last night, ... sitting on my toilet. It's my throne.
I love his comments.
Had too much coffee, late evening, so I ended up staying up until almost 4 a.m. Anyways, I basically fell asleep on the toilet with my underwear around my ankles, ... When all of a sudden, I hear 2 distinct and sharp knocks on the door, and I woke up. I was a little embarrassed because I realized that only maybe a few things could have happened. They were ghostly knocks, and whatever it was, thought it was funny enough to wake up a sleeping dude on the toilet, ... It was my wife or kids, but they wouldn't bother to knock on the door, especially at that time of night. Or they were just night noises that my mental state interpreted as functional knocks. In any case, I mentally thanked the spirit, got off the toilet, not before wiping my butt though, and went to bed.
What the hell?
So, like, not even paranormal, but it made me laugh so hard because he made sure to let everybody know that he wiped his butt.
You know what? I appreciate a man who doesn't leave skid marks.
Oh, thank you, Bill_N_Opus.
What the fuck?
Bill Opus, or whatever. That's so good. Yeah. I don't know. I just thought that made me laugh. I thought that was funny.
Are you ready for one of mine?
Yep.
So this is going to be, I don't know, shorter. This is going to be an r/cryptid, so this is going to be a cryptid encounter. I gotta say, the cryptid subreddits are interesting.
Yeah, we also didn't really go with any themes. We kind of went with, like, whatever we could find.
Yeah.
But if people like this, then maybe in the future we'll do, like, themed Reddit stories where we only pull from, like, do aliens, do cryptids, do that kind of stuff, like, for each one.
Yeah, that's probably a good way to go. You can find plenty of things on the Bigfoot subreddit, because fun fact, the Bigfoot subreddit bans skepticism.
Ooh, I like that.
Their Reddit is that it is real, and that's definitely real, and you shouldn't question it. Which I do not agree with that. That's why some of the Bigfoot subreddit mods are the true cryptozoology mod, because they believe that all cryptids are real and that you should not question. That's just
well, I guess I shouldn't like that then.
armchair fucking behavior right there. Skepticism is healthy.
Yeah.
So we're going to go to r/cryptids, and this is a post from 16 days ago by Jelas Tikcheva. I don't know how to pronounce that. This is Wintertime Gliding Cryptid in Denver, Colorado. On Thanksgiving weekend in 2022, I was up late doing an aquarium water change, and afterwards I stepped out onto the back deck, second floor, to have a cigarette. It was maybe 1:30, and there was still heavy snow on the ground. I heard something moving in the backdoor neighbor's yard behind the shared fence, maybe 150 feet away from me, and assumed it was just a raccoon. Had heard slash seen one or more raccoons in their yard before, so didn't think it was anything weird. The snow was a few days old, and the animals' footfalls were very audible. I figured it was probably checking for food in the neighbor's bird feeders on the ground. I waited to see if it was a raccoon, but it didn't come into view until went from wherever it was in the neighbor's yards up to their house and began climbing the trellis to their roof. The neighbor's porch light was off, but ours was on, so I could definitely see the dark shape climbing up their trellis, and I still thought it was a raccoon. But it looked too skinny to be any of the raccoons I'd seen, and longer slash lankier. I wasn't sure what I was seeing exactly, but I had no reason to believe it wasn't just some odd, gangly raccoon until it got to the edge of the neighbor's roof and climbed onto the top. Now I was more confused about what it was because it seemed more cat like rather than raccoon like. Prominent cat like ears, but with a face that was more elongated, like a possum's, but it's definitely didn't have the smooth and skinny rat tail that possums have. The tail was longer, at least as long as the animal, and seemed thicker. It was uniformly dark, and it appeared at a distance no raccoon banding or coloration that instantly recognizable. The animal was facing me and started doing that sort of shimmying little dance cats do before they're going to make a jump. I didn't understand because there was literally nothing between where it was on the neighbor's roof and where I was standing on our deck that it could jump to from where it was. And I thought that this thing is going to jump off that roof and land in the snow below. Then it jumped and spread its limbs, and there was some sort of unexpected wing or membrane thing that suddenly happened, and I was frozen in shock. It didn't flap, so I don't believe that this is some sort of truly flying animal, but the shape of the wings or membranes didn't look like a flying squirrel's, where you can see the membranes connect between forelimbs and hind limbs. It was kind of given a square appearance on the animal, and it really looked like the wing slash membrane was just on the forelimb and didn't extend to the hind limbs, and its long tail was like a rudder as it glid. It seemed
As
more
it glid.
glided, I guess. I think
Yeah, I don't know what the plural
yeah.
is.
The past tense, you mean?
Yep.
It seemed more wing-like than flying squirrel membrane, but it wasn't like a bat wing either. It definitely didn't look like there were phalanges in this membrane. I was totally spooked once it was gliding toward me since I had been standing there frozen this whole time trying to figure out what this animal was before it jumped. I panicked when I saw it could glide and was coming towards our deck. I opened the sliding glass door behind me and jumped inside with my still lit cigarette. I hadn't turned my back to it, so I could see it react to my sudden movement and panic as it was in the air, and I could tell I startled it. Its underside seemed like it was just bare skin there, like a dog. It was close enough for me to see its navel before it landed on our roof right above me, and I could hear its nails on the roof as it walked up towards the pitch. I totally feel like I had just observed some animal nonchalantly doing a nightly routine of climbing up the wall of one house to glide from roof line to roof line in our neighborhood, and it hadn't noticed me until I got startled and moved quickly to get into the house. I still don't sorry. I still don't know what this was, but there doesn't seem to be any kind of gliding animal of this size, giant flying squirrel with mange or otherwise, that is found in Denver, Colorado, where we live. I don't think this was some kind of escaped pet in the middle of the night in frozen November, but maybe I'm wrong. Has anyone else ever seen something like this?
Hmm.
No comment on this post either.
Well, I'm gonna assume that no one else has seen anything like it then. At least no one on Reddit.
It's weird that the membrane that he describes doesn't attach to the hind limbs, but also doesn't act as wings if it doesn't, so I can't think of anything it would be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because for an animal like the size of a raccoon, it would need the whole membrane. It would need a lot of wing to glide.
Yeah, because they're so pudgy.
Yeah. But it's
Hmm.
lankier, though, so it's smaller, but still would need plenty for an animal that size.
What
Because,
animals have membrane like that in the first place?
I mean, you think of bats, but they weren't bat like. And the largest bats
Were they like
are 6 feet
amphibian?
wide. No, I don't think an amphibian would be able to survive out in the cold like that.
Yeah. Huh.
I don't know.
Creepy.
And then, do you want to wrap us up with one last story? We're at 50 minutes.
Yeah, and this one,
This is a long one.
not super long, but it's a lot.
All right, hit me with this one. I got one palate cleanser at the end then.
Okay, cool. Alright. So this one is in r/alien abduction. 26 days ago. The account is I can't say anymore 90. The title is I can't write anymore.
That's not ominous or anything.
Yeah, it says, I cannot tell this. We were threatened. I must not reveal any information that would expose me, so they cannot find me. I don't know what will happen if they do, but not being able to tell anyone I know what happened is driving me crazy. They are not, quote, spiritual as they are described. They did not come from Sirius. I consumed most content to see if anyone else experienced what I did, and I haven't come across anyone who has. I was abducted. There were people from different geographies, and there were also animals. They had been here before. They didn't talk to us. They showed us. I cannot explain their technology because I didn't even understand it. Something was thrust into my eye, and it hurt. I don't know why they didn't do something that wouldn't hurt. Parentheses. And I watched things. I think it was related to ancient times. Afterward, their planets, I assume, strange symbols. I don't know why they showed us. My ears were constantly ringing. I tried to hear things by swallowing. Then they confined us somewhere and poured something over us. It was a dense liquid, which became more fluid when it touched us. However, with one of the elderly people, it didn't become fluid, it solidified. The woman was screaming. My ears started ringing, so I had to swallow. When I swallowed, the woman's scream stopped, but her posture was still as if she was screaming. Writing this has constricted me so much that I'm struggling to breathe. It feels like someone is pressing on my chest. Afterward, I and two of them were in a place. I wasn't tied. I hope they did standard things to everyone. Otherwise, they'll find me because of what I've told. They showed me strange things. I'm intelligent enough to understand what I saw was shown with a device, but I'm helpless to explain what I saw and how I saw it. Dead people, dead animals, both on Earth and in space. Living people, strange plants, strange visuals, very strange visuals. Ones I've never seen before. The ringing never stopped. My eyes were always tearing up because of the ringing. I was going crazy from swallowing. Finally, they showed, quote, them. They weren't physically there. I'm sure of this, or I want to be sure. I don't know. They were as an indescribable color, but even when I try to remember now, I cannot recall the color. Words are not enough to describe them, and they're spelling them with a capital T, by the way. Then they stopped showing them because I was running, or, well, actually trying to run. Afterward, in a different place/room/void, whatever the hell it was, two of them were always by my head. I saw things. I don't know how they showed them, but I'm sure they operated a device because the ringing would intensify whenever they did. Actually, I'm not sure if I saw anything. This was different from the other. It's like you remember a moment and you feel like you see it, but it's not actually in front of your eyes. That's how it was. While this was happening, my nose was running from the cold. My eyes were full of tears, and there was a loud ringing in my ears. I was living in hell. This is how they showed me things. There's no such place as, quote, outside the universe. We misunderstand spatial dimensions. Humanity and all other living beings are just brains. There's no such thing as the soul. Galaxies are not moving away from each other. The flow of time is changing. I'm not exactly sure how to explain this. A lot of things that my knowledge is insufficient to explain further. I saw, I learned instantly, and now I'm forgetting them one by one, like forgetting a dream I saw. Suddenly, I found myself with the other abducted people. This time there were no animals. They were watching us from above. Then they took people one by one. We were threatened using the method I just described. I don't even remember what I was threatened with, but I'm very scared. Then I found myself back on Earth. I'd been missing for 18 days. My acquaintances had even filed a missing persons report. My clothes were on me and there were no injuries on my body, but my wallet and phone were gone. When I went to the village center, the person who saw me called the gendarmerie. I'm assuming that is their version of the police. I gave a statement. Let me tell you before you ask. No, I didn't say I was abducted by aliens. I said I didn't remember the 18 days, and they took me to the health center, where they issued my health report. Then they canceled the missing person report and released me. Everyone around me knows that I don't use substances, and that I was devout. Well, I was devout before the abduction. Despite this, people think I used drugs and disappeared. The shitty part is, if I tell the truth, they'll think I'm crazy. That's why I can't contradict the quote, use drugs rumor. I made up a lie, saying I went camping, but I couldn't convince anyone. I had a civil servant position. Not police, but something more religious. Due to the rumors, I'm under investigation and have been removed from my duty. That's why not being able to tell anyone drove me crazy. I just wanted to tell. ...
That was insanely disturbing. What the fuck?
I when I saw the title of that, I was like, oh, okay. And then as I was reading, I was like, holy shit.
I found the post while we finished up because I want to read the comments on my own time afterwards, but that's insane.
Yeah, I like the top one, which I think like it just says this is intense. It's like I can feel your trauma through the screen. Which I completely agree. And OP wrote back on there. It says, there is no hypnosis treatment in the country where I live. At least I don't know of any. As I write this, I'm afraid that if I reveal my true identity, I will never be able to return to my profession. I no longer care about my religious duties, but I need money to live. The investigation is ongoing, and we are waiting for the results of my blood tests. If no drugs are found in my blood, which they won't be, I will be able to return to my job.
Man, this is so fucked up.
Yeah, I
Do you think that really happened, or?
truthfully, I feel like that's
I really hope not, personally, based on some of the stuff said. It seems a bit too disturbing.
but it also seems like that it could be real.
Yeah. I mean, all of these do, but obviously some of these, like, contradict each other from the stories we're telling.
Yeah.
And that's one of the tough things when we bring these up, because we're telling paranormal ones that are soul and whatnot, and this one's like, there is no soul.
Yeah, someone, one other comment I wanted to read on this kind of goes with what you're saying. This is from Dr. Wise Wizard, 24 days ago. Not reading this nonsense. Your first line was you can't reveal too much or they'll find you. If they wanted to find you, they could. You're on the internet. You've probably got a sloppy digital footprint. Stop flattering yourself trying to be Mr. Incognito, you opaque as fuck.
Yeah, going to Reddit whenever you have something like this is interesting. That's where, like, I think it kind of falls apart a little bit.
Yeah, but I also think...
I was threatened, and it was pretty bad. Let me go to Reddit and tell my story.
I don't know. I feel like Reddit's a safe space.
It's not that anonymous. You can be tracked.
Oh, yeah. I mean, IP address and all that kind of stuff. But either way, if it's not real, very well written and very chilling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. So you said you have, like, one final kind of palate cleanser?
Oh, definitely palate cleanser-y.
Okay.
I hate to make fun of people at times. Actually, not always, but here's one. I remember when this one was posted for the first time I saw it. And I've been saving this one for 2 years.
Holy shit.
So this is on r/crypts from 2 years ago by Obvious Scene 6298. Is Dollar General a front for the government to collect information on paranormal activity? I've heard on a radio show that the government is working through DG, Dollar General, and using it to have people come in to give them information on unexplained phenomenon and paranormal things that are happening around the country.
This would explain why there are Dollar General's stores literally, in all caps, everywhere.
I was just thinking that.
Sometimes even passing 2 or 3 on the, and in caps, on the same road within 5 or 10 minutes of one another. The government is definitely trying to collect any and all information it can on UAPs, aliens, Bigfoot, dogmen, and even ghosts. Anyone have any information on the validity of this government research? And a bunch of question marks. And
Honestly,
the
that's
top
so fair.
the top comment, which I freaking upvoted 2 years ago, was bro, take your meds. And OP response, I'll get some, just not from Dollar General, lol. I don't trust them. They're definitely some kind of FBI, CIA, NSA information center. I was listening to the We Live podcast, and they were talking about an FBI agent receiving information on the dogman through a connection at the Dollar General store.
This is giving mattress warehouses or mattress firms or whatever are money launderers.
Well, somebody responds to that. It says, I was on that show and got eaten by my zombie wife. And then the OP goes, and that's where I heard Special Agent Charles B. Anderson of the FBI talking about giving the clerk at the Dollar General the code, and they will take your information and move it up the chain of command. It's crazy the reach the government has. Bro, take your fucking meds.
I love that.
I mean, this one's just a literal unhinged.
That is definitely unhinged.
God, I think why do you think Dollar Generals keep popping up?
Yeah, I mean,
What? Maybe it's because
everything.
the economy's fucking shit and that people are poor as fuck and they need cheap shit and Dollar General's cheap.
Dollar General's kind of cheap. It still has pretty expensive stuff.
It's still very cheap.
There's still some expensive
It's
stuff.
easy buck. It's so much cheaper.
But that's why the mattress firms I don't think are easy bucks. There's not enough people buying $1,000 mattresses every day to keep those places alive. I just don't get it.
Somebody commented, used to work at a Dollar General and no one ever asked me about anything about cryptids, UFOs, or the paranormal. The only mysterious thing I saw ever was how some shoplifter fit 25 WD-40 cans in his pants.
What weird thing to steal.
Why not?
Like, what the heck? Oh, man. That was fun. I liked that we did, like, some palate cleansery ones after some pretty, like, serious ones. Kind of shifted the vibe a little in a good way.
Yeah, somebody commented, fuck it, sure, I'll believe that. This just was out of fucking nowhere at r/cryptids, and I'm like, this is, what the fuck am I reading?
That's really funny.
Just oh my god. Wait, where there was a really, really funny one about let me find it in here. Yeah, I've seen 5 of them in one hood, but I doubt people are seeing Bigfoot or Dogman in the ghetto.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that post was crazy.
Wow.
So let's actually do, a little ranking here, okay? That first one. How many orange cats out of 10 do you rank the first story you mentioned?
1. No, 3.
3? I was going to say 3 orange cats out of 10.
Yeah.
How many swollen scrotums out of 10 do you rank the second one?
8.
I'm going to put that as a 7.
Okay.
Then the next one after that, what was your one?
It was just a funny one on Semen Extraction.
Semen Extraction. Yeah, how many aliens fucking guys out of 10 do you rate that one?
Not on believability, but on hilariousness, it's totally 10.
Oh, 10 for sure. I don't believability is this. I don't even know. The next one was the paranormal, like, tall shadow figure. So, shadow figure and 9-foot tall, lanky dude, shadow dude, out of 10. How many do you rate that one?
A 9. That one, I have seen something similar to that.
I'm going to say a 6.
Okay.
And then the next one was your...
Funny? It was my funny one where he's like, "Oh, I whipped my butt."
No skid marks left behind, guy. Out of 10, how many do you no skid marks left behind rate his story?
Believability or hilariousness?
Believability.
A 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 2 as well.
Yeah,
On hilarious, 10.
10. 10, 10, 10.
And then the next one was the nighttime gliding cryptid in Colorado.
Yeah,
What out of 10 do you rate that?
a 5.
I'm gonna go with a 2. It just doesn't seem like a realistic animal
Okay.
proportions. So 2 lanky ass gliding guys out of 10.
Yeah.
Next is your screaming woman in liquid out of 10. Do you rate the next one? Or is that a bad rating?
It's a bad rating.
What would you say? How many mind fucks out of 10 do you rate that one?
10.
For believability.
3.
I'm gonna go with 3 as well. Actually, no, 2.
3 for believability, 10 for mindfuck, though.
10 for mindfuck.
Very well written.
Yeah, I couldn't think of something in that one. And lastly, how many Dollar Generals out of 10 do you rate the last one on believability?
A 10. Dollar Generals are everywhere.
Exactly, it's 10. There's Dollar General is getting your information on Dogman and Bigfoot, maybe even Ghosts too.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck it. I agree with that guy. Let's believe this one.
Yeah. What else would we do?
Exactly. I think that's all we have for today.
Yeah.
Sorry if this was a informal approach. We did have a broken headset, broken set that we were trying to fix, and this audio might not be the best, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll figure it out as we learn the new system.
Yeah, we're back at square one. Every little sound is now getting picked up, which is kind of annoying.
Yeah, I'm very proud of Atlas for being quiet during this one, though.
And I didn't even get a Gigantamax Butterfree today because of this.
Sorry.
It's not even that good.
Okay.
So, with that being said, I'm going to wrap us up here.
Fabulous.
So if you're liking what you're listening to, go follow us on our socials, on our Instagram, and I need to actually finish making our TikTok. Go follow us there and check out our stuff. Go follow some of our friends, and then on the podcast itself, on whatever you're listening on, like, comment, review, rate, subscribe on whatever you're on. Every little bit helps us out. We really appreciate it. It helps us boost in the algorithms. We really appreciate every little support that you guys give us. And then, I'm trying to think if there's anything else to be said on that besides remember
To look for
the unknown,
the unsolved,
and the unseen.
Thanks for listening.
Bye, guys. Make sure you check into your local Dollar Tree Dollar General when you have a sighting. It is your patriotic duty.